So I'm listening on my other phone, um, a reading, and something happened today. I want to reiterate that I watch these readings because it's an insect. Anyway, so yeah, I watch these videos because they are the most accurate reflection of my life, right? Anyway, so and my human interaction. If you see me moving weird, like I'm talking and looking at somebody, I'm battling a fly, or I think that one's actually a fly. I was gonna say gnat, but I don't want to say that they are here if they're not. You got to keep your vibrations good, especially if you don't feel like dealing with somebody. But I said it. I told y'all my relationship with everything. So, yeah. So I was watching. I'm listening to it right now. It's actually skipping because my internet is, I think, on 2G until like the 17th on this one, and then on the one I'm holding in my hand, I get it on the 14th, and I get extra data, and it's free. Is it because I'm homeless? No. I bought this phone and it came with free service, and they upgraded the service. I ran through this 10 gigs of data too fast though. But now I get 25. Alright, anyway. I also found some weed today. uh, God is always giving me everything I want, which is funny. Because I don't have to point out the elephant in the room. But back to what I was saying. So listening to the reading, and the reading was simply stating, I don't normally pull her out, but when I can tell she's being smothered, I like to fluff her out. Because she's normally just out, probably when I'm walking and stuff. But right now I'm cozy smoking. So says getting back on topic and goes off the topic. On the topic. It's still on the topic. Off the topic. On the topic. Still doing it. Give me a second. My hair is looking like I'm going through something. My brother said that to me. He said that I look like that on my going away party. Every time I look at a freaking dog, he's boo-booing. I'm not saying that that's not normal, but like every frame I've had since I've lived outside of a dog I see, they're always boo-booing. I swear in my normal day-to-day life before, I did not see all that. But I didn't see it all the time. But it's every single frame. And mind you, I've been out here for 5 years. And it's not just like where I'm at or anything. Like I could be in any situation, anywhere I'm at, and it does not matter. Boo booing. Not just peeing. Boo booing. It's just kind of a vulgar scene, ain't it? Because you can feel their energy when they're doing. Yes, I'm talking about boo booing dogs. Okay, anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. This was supposed to be a 30-second. I was about to say 30-minute short. What the heck? Where they do that at? Y'all want an outfit check? I wore this twice today, and I got deodorant today, so I feel a lot more confident. I'm having a good day today. I have a good day every day, and it ain't fake. It's because I have to in order to breathe correctly. So I'm an empath. Stop thinking I'm fake. I'm real. You just think you're fake. You know you're fake, but you think I'm fake because you know you're fake. Oh, this actually brings up what we're talking about. Okay, so yeah, back to that. Back to the main reason I pulled this up. So basically, listening to the reading, and something happened today, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm just saying it happened today for context that is always accurate, and it's always a play-by-play as well. Like if I was paying attention and I was tapped into what she's saying right now, more than likely it would resonate. People like that you're very grounded. Oh, it skipped, so I couldn't finish the rest of that sentence, but I'm gonna just finish what I'm saying. But very grounded, paying attention. Oh, talking about all my experiences. Very grounded, just because I recognize that like I said, this is supposed to be a 30-second short about what I was about to talk about. Anyway, so yeah, so something happened today. Context. And on here, she's like, what did she even say? Because I done forgot at this point. No, I didn't forget. She was talking about how people like that the way that I connect with them and others in general, and the way that I speak is not it's not sharp. It's not as sharp, but it's like the way she said it was like it's not sharp as in a way to cut your neck off type of speeching, but it is very direct and honest. And so that in to my like exactly what I said next was because it's a I hit you with a dull blade, you know, like I no, I didn't say that because my mind said at the first point, it's like it's dull, but it's not really dull because that's not what I would swing with, but I hit you with the back of the blade. That's what I said. That actually came out my mouth, and that was actually the punchline. I ruined it. But yeah, it's not sharp because I hit you with the back of the blade. I don't want to hurt you. I just like to have a good time. So honest to myself, it is real when I am kind of rude with you as well. And I really see it differently because I've always had like a higher vibrational palette. Like I've always noticed that I've never really set out to hurt anyone's feelings. Even when I did do something, like if I hurt your feelings, chances are I made a joke. I'm a Sagittarius, and when I'm getting serious, I'm serious, and I'm actually always serious. So yeah, well, because I'm a Sagittarius and it's a joke. Like I'm always serious because I'm always laughing about something, or I'm having a fun time about something, or something about me is having a good time, which is probably the main reason why I've been able to get through the first part of my life. That like before I figured out how to, you know, smile. That was a big deal. Yeah, that was a big deal. Like laughing is one thing, and honestly, I don't understand why that doesn't count as smiling. I laugh often, but people don't think I smile, and that's because I have a model's face. It's not my fault. I just chill, and I'm like that. Get away from me. I be kicking flies too. The fact that a grown woman is fighting karate, I wouldn't say karate because I'm mixed, but in general, like kicking a fly and succeeding. I do not fight losing battles. That drains my energy. So that's why sometimes I won't even swing at the flies. We have a relationship. Well, it is a relationship. I was going to say a lack thereof, but no, if there was a lack thereof, it would be terrible. That's just... I was about to say that's just terrible, but that just sounds like texture for some reason. It just sounded like that in my mind the way I said it. That's just texture. Whatever. I'm always playing with sounds and words, so it always sounds like everything rhymes now. So I don't know what to do about that. So the main point of the video turned into a bigger thing. And so you get the point. Yeah, I was not. I be honest. Oh, and I guess my main reason for sharing that part with you, like hitting with the back of the blade type of thing, and the fact that like someone else, like the reading is saying like I'm not sharp, and that you think that I'm someone that you can walk all over. It's funny because if I were to actually pull out the whip on your ass, it would be like somebody shot you, and you would be very upset with me. You know what? I'm gonna actually share a story. I'm gonna share a story. Of course, I'm gonna share a story, but I'm about to share a story. It's a personal story. Again, everything is a personal story, but that's not the point. This involves someone else. That's why. So this person that I am speaking of was a shared acquaintance. I want to say friend. I really wanted this person to be a friend. I would have thought at that time we were friends. That person even would say that we were friends, but they did not like me out of jealousy, which it was funny to me at the time. Well, it's funny now, but looking back, like, she ain't got nothing to be jealous of. Okay, the thing is I'm me. I understand, and obviously, like I see our actual differences and a lot of the things that she was probably over here reading her like a book, telling y'all. See, I told y'all, like I only tell you when it's necessary. But this person was definitely jealous of me and my relationship with someone else that they saw as having more outward potential than me. This was a family friend, someone that was my best friend. So you can already put things together, but I done told you about a couple of best friends in my life, so I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but not the point. So this person, um, basically, whenever my friend, like our shared friend, whenever they decided to tell this person off because of something they didn't like about this person, that person would go out of their way to apologize. And not only that, like I've always read energy, I've always understood the issue, blah blah blah. So I'm not really gonna get into that, like why that is so important, or why it didn't work with me, besides the point that your relationship with one person is your relationship with one person. Different types of relationships have the same types of qualities. However, those are in different patterns of people in different groups. Like there's the same type of person. Like you could try to replace me with another spiritual black person, black girl with a big butt, or she might be skinnier than me because that usually happens, or and she wears glasses, or she'll have like colored eyes, or some type of variation of that black friend. But it would be different amongst different, like there's different this is why I don't get into it. What I tell you, you always gonna hear me say that too. You always gonna hear me say that too. And that too. Anyway, so so this person was not always nice to this person when they had something to say, but that was their way of telling them, you know, like I don't like this is how I'm saying. And I admired that about that person. Also, the way that that person communicated with me was different because of the way I communicate with them. However, we've had our own issues, and obviously we are not friends at the moment due to these well, I fix things. We fix things, fixing going forward. But you know, I guess if someone didn't heal all the way in places they should have, it backfires. But this person was actively healing, and it was a good thing, grand thing to watch. Not the main point here, but this person had no well, I wouldn't say have no problem, but was able to communicate to other people that they didn't like what they didn't like. And I admired them about in that way, especially because even if it caused problems, even if it was an issue, and even if it caused me directly issues in many a time, I had to exercise patience and learn how to be a better me to, in order, lead that person, lead the team, and lead that person, because we have a personal relationship as well. So like I was able to grow because this person was difficult, but I admired that this person was difficult in that way specifically because there were a lot of things I didn't want to do. Like, why am I working so much for this little pay when I've been here for long enough? Why, whenever there's an issue in the workplace, I get the talk to? But when there was an issue with another person in charge, they didn't get nothing happen to them. It's because why? Because I'm the light. I'm the main light. This person that I'm talking about, the person, the shared friend, was a light as well. Still is the light, but they have to be the light in their own lives to continue. And that's why we were linked together in the first place. This other person I was talking to also has the option to be the light, but is most likely the light in their family. The light, we always together. So stop hurting each other. Hurt people, hurt people. So let's heal so we can continue moving on. That is also why I'm by myself, because there are a lot of good people on this earth. But in God's eyes, if you walk up to God, you're probably going to spit on me, and I'll have to kill you if you do that. So this guy, one time that almost happened. Not almost happened because I'm always protected in such ways. However, this guy decided he was drinking some milk, water, I don't remember, right? Sitting on the side. I was happy because I had my food stamps. This was like half a year ago. I don't know, actually, at this point, because It's always a long time when it's a long time. Anyway, so I'm walking past this guy. Yes, this is another story inside another story. Follow me. So I'll bring you back. Just we're going into the Combini real quick. That's a convenience store. So actually, I was coming out of El Poco Loco. If you don't really know what that is, it's El Pollo Loco. And I'm not making fun of Spanish. I am a Rush Hour fan, and me and my brother have been saying El Poco Loco before we even knew that we could actually eat at El Poco Loco. I don't even know if he's ever actually eaten at El Poco Loco because my mama didn't take us when she went, and she said she got sick. And so we didn't go because we wasn't finna do that. And she said she was never gonna go there again. So that's what happened. And I've been plenty of times that I mean, it's touch and go sometimes, but when it's good, it's good. But I was leaving and I had my food. I was about to go back to the spot, right? And I'm pretty AF. Pretty as heaven, prettier than heaven, pretty. Okay, so anyway, basically, you get the point, right? Shining. I'm just enjoying my life with my music and my air. I'm walking back to the bus station. I gotta go, right? And then this guy's just sitting on the side, boop, on this bench. It's not a bench, it's a brick situation that's in front of a Denny's. I'm walking past him, and he decides to have whatever he's drinking, and I could tell intentionally because I already know that he was planning to do it because he saw me go in that direction in the first place. And the vibe that he gave me when I walked past him in the first place, because I know somebody just asked, I felt it, you're welcome, was like, I want to be like that person. And he was also afraid of my power. That's the thing. And he got triggered because of that. And so on my way out of El Poco Loco and I'm walking by, he's on a different side of the cement wall than he was when I walked in the opposite direction. And he decides to take a big gulp of whatever he was drinking. Because like I said, I cannot remember if it was water or milk. Because I feel like I feel I think it might have been milk, to be honest. It was definitely a milk jug, but I don't know if there was water or milk in it. But I want to say it was milk specifically because I remember the conversation I had with myself afterwards, which I'll share afterwards so that we can get past this point. So, so then he takes it and he just like, bleh, and just like, and it's not just like on the ground. I'm not necessarily right next to him, but I'm close enough to him and his exaggerated regurgitation of the situation in my way station. I was about to just say wation, but they gave me something to say. So and so I'm walking, he does that. And I just keep it moving as I'm doing that. And I don't walk, okay, I walk fast, but if I'm not walking fast, most likely I'm still looking like a model when I'm walking, not the point. Or I'm looking like some type of character walking. I don't know. Shoot. It depends on what I'm doing, where I'm going, where I'm at, how I'm feeling. That's where it's at. So I just threw that one in there. So so I'm walking and it's like a leisure something. I don't know if you can hear me because the wind is now blowing, but it's just like a walk. And I'm just walking basically, right? And he does that. And as I go, I'm also controlling the energy everywhere that I need to be controlling it because on the outside, I'm not going to get into that. It's not good. No, we're not going to do that right now. I'm sorry. I apologize, honestly. Gomenasai. So, and basically he does that. And it vibrationally, straight up I'd be dodging stuff by the hair. That's basically what my life is just balance and stuff. So I just naturally was in the right vibrational spot. Like, and I have my own force fields in general of things that I don't want on me, especially if someone else decides they want to do something about it. Like if it's something, like I once got hit in the head with a football when I was when I went to Manchester Gate School, and I couldn't remember the grade, so I just said school. That's where I was at, and you know, uh, I immediately started learning to make sure that no balls was falling towards my face in multiple directions. Like, I may still not be good at dodgeball though, but like as a survival nature tactic, whatever, I am vibrationally correct in these ways. Like, it's danger, right? I learned, and that's how you learn. You just gotta learn it. So then you start being exempt from certain things, and so not being able to be hit in the head with a football is not the only vibrationally correct reason why I didn't get hit with this guy's spit of milk, but um it would also be like, because I am assertive and because I am above a certain vibrational level within my karma, to be honest, within all karma, but like within my karma, because I got my own things to do, and that's why I'm so adamant about doing them. That also includes telling you about them. But there's a lot of reasons why that person's, disdain for my beauty did not reach me in that way. And his energy was also not able to touch me the way that it was supposed to. I just took the power off of it and decided that that was going to be what it was going to be, because I was more powerful anyway. So I would just let it be. But at the same time, I knew karma was going to take care of the situation. So I just let it be as it is. And at the same time, I always gird myself up with better energy to keep improving on certain things, because, you know, uh, I'm gonna live a long life. You don't know what's gonna happen. I said dragons and stuff. Well, okay, y'all don't get scared. But I did already say that, so I'm saying it. But I want to be ready for this. Like, I'm not trying to be unready. Like, yeah, I brought peace, and I'm withered, and I need help. But I do need help, and I'm not withered though. But I was born tired. Baby, I was born tired. Getting more tired. Anyway, so why did we talk to? I don't know why we brought that one guy up. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we're gonna go back to what I was talking about. Oh, and then yeah, in that second pass through, he was afraid of my power because I didn't say anything. I didn't scream. I didn't screech or do anything. I don't even remember if I even gave him a look. I think I just kept it moving and had a good vibration about me, and I think that really freaked him out. Like, he was not. And his mental state of the sorts vibrationally as well was of a very low vibration. So like, imagine the king walking through the streets, not walking through the streets, but and that sometimes that happens, but in anime, where like the poor kids will just start throwing rocks at the king, because that's the reason why they're doing blah 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 whatever, or they have something that they don't have, and that type of deal. So that was the type of energy he exhibited when he saw me, and when he came back to do something about it, possibly. And in that way, I gave mercy and forgiveness, because that is the best way to help the situation in general. But that's what that was. Now we're gonna go back into the main story, because this has been a 30-minute short. I guess this is where we do that. We do this. Kochira. I'm doing my best. I've been learning hecka Japanese. Am I better? Yeah, I've been learning a lot of sentences, like a lot. But like, I feel there are a lot of things that I really say on a daily basis that I really am not able to say in Japanese quite yet. So, and fluently. I will definitely have my own way of speaking it, so don't even try to tell me how to do it better, unless it's how to say certain words better in a sentence, because it might be like gaski des, that phrase is just gaski des. I like, but it's like an attachment. But like, sometimes the person that's saying like gaski des or something like that. Gaskidas. But I'll say it in his tone, because he's a man. Hold on. Gaskidas. Something of the sort. But sometimes I've been focusing on trying to learn how to like hear what they're saying. Even though it's easy for me, I feel that unless I'm reading it too, I may not be able to hear all the words you said, but I don't know. I've never spoken to someone in Japanese, but I know it would get complicated immediately if I really want to talk about something, because I can't just talk about colors. Well, not colors. What do we talk? It's mainly about traveling at the moment. But it's it's I've been learning it for about 4 years now, so it's funny how I know a lot over the span because it's switched around its format over the years, but I'm still at a certain beginner level, but I've made so many strides. It's funny. I recommend it. Back to learning. So back to the workplace. This is what we were talking about with these two people. So the main point of the story was someone that I admired for a certain trait did something to another person that was a shared friend at the time, acquaintance now, and they treated them in a certain way that was beneficial to their friendship, even if it did turn into a certain type of enabling, because it would be her apologizing or saying like like I'm sorry or blah blah, like basically going out of her way to make sure that this person is staying in their life. And um it was like straight up triangulation. I'm gonna just call it out. But um it was funny because when it came to me, she messed up one good time and I voiced my opinion, and the way that I speak when I say it, I'm pinpointing it because I don't want to hurt your feelings. And that was the point of how I said it too. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't trying to hurt her, because I know that when my shared the other person, when they decided to say something, I know that there was malice in the way that they would say it, because that person had attachment, detachment, avoidant, what is the other word, abandonment issues. And so it was all very clear to me with that relationship in general, not just that relationship, but like how that was communicated as friends, like as genuine friends. And so when I decided that, you definitely did something to me, I don't even remember what it is now, because well, we're not friends. So I obviously did what I had to do not even at some point. Like, I've always been on top of it. Like, if I don't like how you're treating me, I'm going to say something about it. If you do it, like, I used to give chances and I would wait for like the second chance. And then I would be like, okay, the third time is not going to be something that I feel like I should have to endure, because I know that they're doing it on purpose. And so then I would have to say something when I feel like it's a good time to say it. That's when I start feeling that urge and fluid wave of information going through me. So, and sometimes, things be going down in their life at immediately the time I gotta say something about it, and so I say it anyway. But I don't remember what I said to this person, but I know that I was actually pretty kind about it. I was gonna say very kind about it, but like I'm not at liberty to remember if that's the truth or not. So take it with a grain of what I said. But basically, I approached it the way that I would be happy about approaching it now. But at the same time, it was back in the day. So I was not, I was going to say, was I perfect during that time? Because there's a timeline for this. And I mean, in reality, we already said what we said, but this is like my definition of perfect, past the point of God knowing what he's doing in his own life. That's quite different. Or having a standard type of personality to do what you're gonna do. I've always been hard headed about what it is that I'm gonna do, but nobody's ever told me that I was wrong. Like, I've always just done it how I'm gonna do it, and if it wasn't something that someone liked, chances are it's because they had ulterior motives for not liking it, or I stole something. but at the same time, I already told you about that too. But um, I shouldn't have did that. Go Minnesota. And then when I told this person whatever I told them, I don't remember if they ghosted me. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. They just stopped talking to me. But like the energy is real when we were in person. Like we were friends. I'm not just saying we were friends and stuff. Like I said, like I would have thought we were friends. But the thing is, because my energy is quite different and she's the one that takes advantage of people in her life in the way that she does, the way that she saw the other person that was in the story, you remember, right? The other person, they were the boss in that way because that's how they handle things in their own way as well. And it was because of immaturity levels as well. I am a little bit older than the other person and a lot older than the other person, but not by too much, but enough. And so in this case, it was immaturity levels for sure. Maturity levels? No, immaturity levels. This was what this was. And so that person ghosted me, and I just didn't say nothing. Oh no, I don't even know if I said something of, or I may have like put the nail in the coffin by saying like, let me see. I'm trying to think of something that I would have said in order to just cut. Like if it was really that big of a deal and you didn't like what I said because you did something that I don't like, then it's perfectly fine. I'm gonna get the information into you that you need to hear, and we're just gonna leave it at that. And that's just what it's gonna be because it doesn't have to be anything if that's what it's gonna be. Like whatever, do what you're gonna do. And so chances are, I said something like, if you don't feel like you have the need to apologize, then chances are you don't really care about our relationship. And that is, I would have said that's okay with me because I don't want to be friends with somebody that doesn't like taking care of my feelings. But I don't think I would have said it exactly like that. And I don't think I would have said that's okay with me because I'm fairly honest about a lot of things, even if I do have the tendency to just go cold on certain things if I feel like it's not worth it to be around in general. Like if I just feel like I can live my life without it or them, it's usually people. It was people before it turned into other things in general. But in general, like if I need to close my heart to you, I wouldn't even say that I close my heart in any type of way, to be honest. I'm being very specific because I feel like there are times, not even there are times, like I've had to move on in life. I've had to be a callous. I've had to be my own self. I've had to act like I didn't want to say something when it wasn't the right time to say something. And that's okay because God gave me another time to say something when it was time. Like I've always just been patient. And so in this case, I wouldn't have said something that was just like, I don't want to be friends with you because this person I did care for. And even now, I feel that if, just assume these are all women because I don't think I've had too many. I can't remember having too many best friends that were guys anyway. So, plot twist, spoiler alert, whatever. But yeah, she's someone that if she changed into a better person for the betterment of herself, because a lot of a reason why someone would hurt you is because they're not doing well for themselves. But in general, like um sometimes it's not always immediately like that. Sometimes they don't know exactly why they did something, or it's not like that's not their main focus, even if it is like, or it just spawned out of nowhere and that's what it was. But no, like this was like an ingrained type of view of who what our relationship was. And it is because I'm wise, because a lot of people really do take a weird tone to my wisdom, and they'll love hearing the wisdom, to be honest. Like that's where I connect with people too. Like giving advice is not really giving advice to me. I'm talking about something that I'm interested in, and you happen to have an issue that is something that I can feel the answer for, basically. And it's fun to talk about it, and we're having a good time when we're talking about it too. Like that's why, like, and yes, we're having a good time talking about it too. And if it's someone that doesn't like it whatsoever that I'm that smart or wise, whatever, Like, I can tell that they really wanted to hear that, even if they hated it that it came from me. Like, they enjoyed it, and they didn't really be upset about it to begin with. They are more upset with themselves that they're mad about it because they like me too. So, yeah, basically. So, this person, and you know what, like I said, I don't remember why we started talking about this besides the main points of the story, so we'll just go backwards. So, bringing it back to, okay, we're just gonna close out the story with that. Basically, the point of that was that I intentionally hit somebody with the back of the sword and let them know how I felt. And then that person decided to, they either apologized in text or in person. Um, we didn't live next to each other, but we did see each other when we saw each other. I don't really understand our relationship past the point of, like, I don't understand how we actually started hanging out. Probably because we both smoke weed. Well, we used to. I don't know how that did. The people that stopped smoking weed, I noticed how, like, most of them in my life, I noticed that they not happy no more. Like, in general, like, life actually starts weighing them down, and then they get bigger, and they're like, I stopped smoking weed again. In my mind, I'm thinking, why? Because they think it's a societal acceptance, basically, trying to be more ingrained into society as an accomplished human, an accomplished adult. I think that was a really big deal. Sometimes it just is a big deal, to be honest, but it's okay to enjoy the things you love in life. However, you have to find a reason for why you love these things, and that is why I am like I am. However, we did end up hashing it out, whatnot. I would like to think we got closer in certain ways. I'm not really going to get into that because that's not important to why I brought it up, but I did say what I said, and I cut her off again because of ghosting. Yeah, ghosting. I just cut her off. I was just like, good, like, and and it was like legit ghosting. And when I needed her companionship, I was gonna say the most, and honestly, it really was that vibe. But it wasn't like I need you or I can't make it, because I wouldn't put that type of, like, energy on that person, because that's not. She's not. Like, I just told you the story, but basically, it was like, you are deciding to hang out with me and I'm going through a rough time. But when I hung out with you the one time that we did, because I don't really have any other examples to tell you besides the point of the story, but when we did, it was a great time. We had fun. And of course, there was more advice that she asked for. It's never advice I didn't, like I did. Well, I wouldn't say never, but when it comes to, like, certain topics and stuff, like I said, it's me talking about what I'm talking about, and synchronicities wise, things just be popping up. But then they'll be asking and I'll be answering. That's the questions that are getting answered. And so also, our relationship will be growing on that day, emotionally, spiritually, and all of that stuff. When people grow closer together, it's really funny how people act like that's not important. When you have a real friend in the workplace and then you decide that that's not actually your friend because the other person decided that just because you're in the workplace, that's only your work friend. Your relationship is not as important. And I understand that for certain reasons, but in reality, like, it doesn't always have to be like that. But it's because you have to know who you're talking to and about and for, and blah blah blah. And so that person ghosted me, and so then I just was like, all right, whatever. I don't care, because you're fake. Basically, that was the issue, like, fake. And I already understood that that was the case, because that is what it is. She must needed to be exposed, cause dang. Um. So And yeah, and that's what I said. And you can tell when I tell you stories and stuff of everything that I've said, I could really lay it out there on the table because I'm being kinder than a motherfucker. I was gonna say the word, but there was no reason to say it. I didn't know what to do. So basically, if you think I'm someone that you should correct, don't be mad when I say something about it. Because at this point, I've had to be a lot more heavy handed. And if you need somebody to whoop your ass, I have definitely become the person that has been the duty. And obviously, I decided to take that responsibility in my life because of the fact that I have been that one person that's like, all right, I understand exactly where you're at in your life, where you're going, all that stuff. Blah. I see you. However, I don't like that you're acting up towards me, so I'm not gonna do, everything that you want me to do because that just doesn't make sense. We're not going down together. And I'm gonna make sure that I tell you how, things that could be better, things that you should help work on for yourself because I've already told you my position on what I'm doing. I understand what your position is, but is it the best position for yourself? Is it the best position for yourself? And I've stopped doing as much of telling you like, is that the best position for yourself, that type of stuff, because I don't have people that are close enough to me to like actually care, if you're going in the right direction on an emotional level to that extent, because I am an empath and I be tapped in, and so I care, and I just decided to not to because they ain't got nothing to do with me. If you decide you want to do something that's gonna cause me to lay waste in your life, that's what it's gonna be. And I do mean this from an invisible standpoint. And by invisible, ain't nothing about me invisible, but that's not the main point. But you get what I mean. Because physically, in this physical right here, um, my weapon is my words and my power, my energy, all of my existence in itself. And that being said, I do myself a favor and I make sure that I don't go wanting to whoop nobody ass nowhere for no reason. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? This is not a 30-minute short no more. But you get the point. Like, why? Why am I doing that at this moment? And if it's somebody that wants to get that done to them, because I swear people do be coming to me to get cut, and then they do it to get cut again. Some people, I understand, I get it, and so I've decided to actually walk in my dominance, and that's what's most important to my vibe, so feminine and dominant, and that's very important to my life. I wanted other people to lead us. I didn't fall submissively in any type of situation. I went with it because it was cool. It was good for me. I had a great time until I didn't. And when I didn't, it was because others were not having a good time and that affected me. And I was not able to completely shut it out because I grew up here and I cared. And I could see their paths and stuff. So it really was like a flip of the switch. They're a lot further from it now, but they could be a lot closer to it if they wanted to be. But everyone's under the impression that they have to do so much hard work to do everything, but like in reality, like that's, I'm not gonna get into this right now, but in reality, like, come on now, like, get it together. Oh yeah, I said this in a comment the other day, actually. There are things in your reality, your head, your whatever. I say it now, but I said it differently and more composed in a writing form. There are things in your reality that you perceive, you understand, but you decide that it's not important information in your world. But when you get a headache, what do? You take a pill. That is not what you're supposed to do, but that's what you do. But what do you think is actually causing these issues when you're having a headache? Sure, you have a brain. Sure, it has nerves. But what are dreams? Okay, we also have pictures that we've seen before. We have, well, a lot of people, honestly, like, dreams are dreams. They come from where? System of a Down. Why do we dream? Oh no, that's Godsmack. Why do we dream when our thoughts mean nothing? Dreaming and thoughts are two different things, but dreams have pictures, and then we put them out here. Manifestation. I'm trying not to keep it, like, put the fanatical in it, because specifically, people that believe in manifestation don't really pay attention to the point that, like, that is its own spirituality, that's its own magic, like its own thing. It has many ways, but that's its own like specific thing. And so then when people do certain things like inventing, creating, which are two different things if I were to be specific, doing these things, how else are you going to make the world go forward? How else are you going to fix the world and its issues? Actually, I've been abstaining. Is that the word? Abstaining? There's an ad and it's doing the most. I could put that away, but I don't know why I didn't. But yeah, I've been refraining from saying this until I decided it was a good time. But the timing is when it's going to be. Because we're getting fed up with everything that we've been reading in the comment sections of other people's videos and of the main idea of where everybody's at right now. People could even watch my videos and think, you seem to be worried about the wrong things. What about all the wars? And if you're doing that, why are you not taking care of this? Why don't you do this? Why are you not doing this? There are a lot of human questions I know that are being asked. And there's a lot of people in comment sections talking about if God was real, he wouldn't let this happen. This and that. I've been refraining from talking about the darker side of life where people fall prey to certain situations, because there's a bigger network behind why that is. And so I didn't want to be irresponsible with giving the information, because people are going to be triggered by it regardless. But I'd rather you be triggered by me saying as much as possible about the situation rather than it just being parts of the truth and not the whole truth. So take this as much as you can, because I'm going to say as much as I can. There are wars, there are famines, there are people pretending to be in pain, there are people brainwashing their children thinking they're in pain, there are babies dying, there are children crying. I'm not gonna make a joke, this isn't funny, but the thing is, you can laugh about it if you wish. There are people that decide to laugh about these things because it's got nothing to do with them, right? And that's the main part about life. I'm actually going to get back into that in a second, but that's the main part of life. There's a no. We're going to get back to that in a second. It was about to go there right now. We're not going there right now. Not the right segue. So basically, all these things are happening, and people are thinking, hey, well, it's happening. You should be worried about that. What about this in politics, government, all of that? If you would listen to what I said and do what I said, all of that stuff naturally would already be doing better. I said this the other day, didn't I? The people in the government, if they did not have emotional issues and, let's say, saving face and deciding, basically like nobility and regular animes. Come on now. And that's the thing, it's everywhere. We have literally everything. I don't know what stuff you're watching. I ain't gonna talk about your television, but mine has a lot of but, so I wouldn't talk about mine either. But my main point is, you have the information there. It's literally a repeat of humanity throughout the years that have the same types of people doing the same types of things. But why are you still acting like that is helping? And it's like, no, you can't control other people. Only God can do that. But the thing is, that's the inside and outside and all sides of the situation. We are literally like, this is our world. Why wouldn't I show up? And on top of that, Me showing up and telling you how to fix things helps other people vibrationally in general. When I'm in a situation, when I'm anywhere, things just go right. They'll start to break down and go wrong, and then they immediately start fixing, or things will start getting better. Somebody's fighting and stuff. I'm not freaking out about it. All of a sudden, they forgot why they was fighting. They weren't friends, and they still mad, but they stopped fighting. It got confusing. It was actually comical how bad the fight was. This did happen. It was interesting, but that's not the point because I don't walk towards fights. But things just be happening around me. But a lot of things are planned to be happening around me because that's just, you got to know when the universe is out and at you. You got to know. You got to know. It makes everything more interesting. Like when you're going to quit a job and then all of a sudden somebody wants to say, oh, these people are quitting, this person is quitting, blah, 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 blah. All right, well, by the way, here's my 2-week notice. You're leaving? Yes. I've got things to do. Selfish? Sure. But they're going to lose you anyway. They're going to lose you anyway. And if you really like it there, go ahead and stay there. You'll probably get fired. The place will blow up. Somebody will frame you for stealing. You'll probably get caught stealing. Like, it's a whole thing. Like, the world has karmic patterns. And it's not just simply karmic patterns. The 1 by 1, the 2 by 2. Each step has a certain conjointing area to go into, and it is very simple to see each part. But the more that you decide you're gonna sit in your house and be the person that's like, I'm high-minded because I care about the environment, because I care about wars, because I care about people that are in jail for things they didn't do, because of this and that, but I'm personally not taking responsibility for my own spiritual healing, I'm a hypocrite. That's what that is. That's where you are if you were continuously putting that stuff above God, because God's reasoning is not always necessary unless it is necessary, because a lot of things happen for no daggone reason. I can attest to that. I'm like, bro, but the reason that it happened is actually funnier than it happened. So it did have a reason. Things that don't have matter, they matter. And if you feel like you are not important, you are. I already told you, I'm a nobody, but I'm a somebody. And that's a big deal. And that means a lot. So I really need you to pay attention to when I say, you can help save the world. We are not just out here being woo-woo. We're actually doing stuff. And you can feel energy, because the whole reason, why do you like that person? Oh, because they do this and they do this. But why do you like that? Oh, well, because I like this done and this done. But why? Well, because it makes me feel like this. It is good. That's the whole vibe. Like, you have to pay attention to what is in your world, because you are now the problem. You are not healing. You're not trying to heal. You're trying to be the same type of person that you're sitting next to at wherever you're at. You're not trying to be a better you. You don't have to save the world if that's not where you're at, because a lot of people like to use that as an excuse. Well, I'm just human, or I don't need to do all of that. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't ask to be born. Plot twist. You don't even remember anything about yourself, so don't even act up like that. But not the point. The main point is that you personally, if your life is something that you feel is better than, well, not, I wouldn't even say better than others, but in reality, like, you're more focused on your life, because a lot of people that are having a crappy life, that's all they focus on is other people's crappy lives. And then they're like, that's what the government is and all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm just throwing that one out there because it's common. It's too common. Like, it's like NPC type 2 common. And the thing with this is, I always know exactly where it's coming from. And even if it's a different type of person and a different vibe, I know exactly where they're coming from, and it may be different. I would have to pinpoint you to tell you, but I'm noting that it is different. And so these people create different types of ideas and vibrations around themselves. There are people suffering from suicide. I talk about it often. I talk about depression often. People are dealing with these things, and then people talking about my mental health and this and that and blah blah blah. But if you really cared about how your day is gonna go, or if you even thought, because I know how it is not knowing what the future holds, or like, I don't know if it's a good idea for me to feel better, because I like my feelings just in general. But daggone well, there's a lot of things about you that you want to be better about within yourself, or you want to experience certain parts of yourself, certain parts in life outside of yourself as well, which nothing ever really is inside or outside of you. We're not going to talk about that. However, when it comes down to it, everything that you are choosing to focus on is going to magnify. So if you're looking at the war, you're just going to magnify the war. And on top of that, if you're not healing while looking at this war and focusing on the things in your life that make you happy, better, and clean for God, you're actively adding strife to the war. You are actively adding negative energy towards this situation. And I'm not going to get into the people that actively try to do these things, because I'll talk to y'all later. But that's the main point here. Like, you don't see how. I'm going to see if I can nail these lines, but this is a Jhené Aiko song. Of course. Not of course. I feel like I don't really sing her songs too much, but I have been. Let's see. Well, when I say I wanna see you, that means something deeper to me. Oh, wait, you don't see the urgency that really worries me. I put those two together. I was gonna go into the chorus, but that don't connect. But that's basically the point. The words, like, you don't see. Something is definitely touching me. Oh, it's me. So you definitely don't see the urgency and all of the stuff. The urgency. I'm not gonna make the joke. I already did, and you heard it. But basically, you don't see the urgency and how important it is to start treating yourself better in order to treat others better, because you are directly affecting the world in its tangible form. Your world magnifies, especially if it's bad. Now, there are people that think, maybe I will magnify bad. I guess I will talk a little bit to you right now. I'm not egging you on. I'm just letting you know that's how it is. So, back to who I was talking to. I'm talking to everybody, but back to who I was talking to before you. Um, Basically, get it together. Quit complaining about your life. Quit complaining about your wallet. You notice I don't complain about a lot of things that I don't complain about. The only thing I ever have anything to really say is about you. I talk a lot about myself, but notice how I'm always speaking about you. So, pick up them pieces, do something about it, stop complaining about it. The whole point of humanity at the moment is we've come from a certain point, we're going to a certain point. Now, people can think that the thing is that, oh, y'all remember Nerd? No One Ever Really Dies? Pharrell Williams. So, and that being said as well, I didn't want to say that irresponsibly too, because you will get karma if you're doing the wrong things. I did just say that. So don't go out there trying to take people's lives because you think it's now not important. Because let me tell you, it's not going to work like that. So people will stop dying at the wrong times. And just to make an example of the world, is because they are specifically following those paths and they go there. And that is what happens. There are different patterns that keep getting repeated, and we keep magnifying them. And the balance of energy has to be balanced out. So, I want to talk more about this, but I want to leave it at this. and leave it at what I said specifically about you need to act like you and be you and want to be you. And that in turn will help everyone, not just your dog, not just your cat, not just your mom, not just your aunt, not just your book, not just your car, not just your refrigerator, not just your lemonade, not just your appetite, not just your vibe, not just your soul, and not just your hide. Let's talk about your ass. But anyway, yes, if you want to fix your body, if you want your body to vibe with you, because there are a lot of people that can get plastic surgery if that's what they're going to get in order to fix a certain part of their body. But if they're not connected with it, their soul isn't connected to them, and they're not connected with their experience and whatnot, it's not going to feel like them. It's not going to feel ever good enough. It's an issue. That's why you can't look outside of yourself when you should be looking within. How do you look within? You can just close your eyes and straight up look. I'm serious, dead ass. Live ass. Live hair? That's kind of like the crown chakra. And third eye. Talk about it. Open it. A lot of people do have their third eyes open, like by force. That is a blue pill, red pill type situation. But I remember being paranoid when I first got my third eye, like especially opened, because I do feel like I was just aware most of the time, but like especially opened because I can sense things differently. But the only reason I was mostly paranoid was because I was smoking in the car with my boyfriend at the time, and you know, weed wasn't that like you should don't be doing that all the you don't get caught with that at the moment. You know, I could probably talk my way out of it. Not even just probably, but in general, like, you know, like, let's not make it a deal. Also, he was probably doing something in the vehicle as well between the two of us. So, you know, like, police officers are not the best people to be seeing at the moment. And so we, you know, and this would be in my driveway by my house, basically. And so the thing with that is, like, police officers would be driving by, or like they would have like sirens on, and then all of a sudden the crime picked up during that time in that area, so they were just popping around for no reason, you know, concerned with something else, not us. But like, I don't want them to be paying attention to us. And so things did start happening at the same time that my third eye opened up to cause me to feel like I should be paranoid about something. However, I got a handle on the situation because I noticed other people noticed how much I was seeing, like how much my eyes were moving. I wouldn't say they were erratic because I don't think that's ever been the case, but I've always had like fast, like I can see well, like, I was gonna say like visually, but like what else would you say? Well, I guess there's a lot of ways, but as it gets darker, I guess not. But basically, like, I made sure to hone my skills. I didn't leave them painful. I didn't leave them untended to. I made sure to turn that intuition into wisdom. I made it's awareness, basically. I made it into something that is valuable to me, intuition wise. Like, you know, you can be paranoid, but you're avoiding everything because you are avoiding everything. But you can be, you can have good intuition and avoid things because you know for a fact that that's what that person is aiming for, that's what that situation is aiming for, or it's something that you're not supposed to be a part of, or that happened because of this and that and that. If more people understood that power and how important it is, watch your favorite movie and look at the reasons why people get into issues. You can feel that person out. Oh, why did they get into that person? Why did they say yes to that person when they clearly wanted to say no? Was it for appearances, or was it because they were too afraid to voice their opinion? Was it because they had mommy or daddy issues? Was it because they had self-harm issues? Like, just in general, you need to start reading the situation of your life because it is not me just speaking on this thing. And I'm gonna start yelling at you because I really want to punch somebody in the face. I feel like that's really what people want. Like, they really, I think that if I was someone that could like just whoop your ass immediately and you felt that way, I feel like you would pay more attention to what I'm saying and take it more seriously. But it is super important that I look like this. It is super important that I talk like this. It is super important that I am like this. It is super important that I'm speaking to you from where I'm speaking to you from. It is super important that I am as valuable as I am. And for what reason? People love to talk about my wallet, but that's because that's the only thing they can talk about. And even then, I still look expensive. And I didn't pay for any of my clothes. God gave them to me. They're mine. All this jewelry, I'm not spending money on things that I shouldn't. I spent it on dance class. I spent it on hygiene because I needed to at that point. I wanted more money for that. I wanted more money for my dance classes. I was super excited to do that. But I did that. I don't even care how I looked to other people, but I paid attention. And it was a good experience because I changed who I am on the inside for a certain vibration, for a certain reason. I wanted to have a certain experience in a certain place, and I tried it again to try to do what I wanted to do and to feel how I wanted to feel in that space. I've always been ready, and even if I didn't feel like, I felt scared at some point, but immediately, because I decided that I didn't want to feel scared, because it was that feeling, it was like it's like trauma when you realize like, oh, they're dancing it, and I'm, like I said, I'm fairly autistic. Like, I don't understand a lot of things. And so when it comes to choreography, especially now, because I'm not institutionalized anymore. So I'm not learning dance class anymore like I used to in high school. So it's been over a decade since I've been out of high school and in dance class or danced with other people. Because Zumba, I can do that with you and I'll look the best, but that's because it's not a dance class. That's not what everyone's aiming for. They're having fun, and people will clean it up too because I'm so good at it. Like, jaw, you know, it's like knitting. And then you get in the circle of knitting with people, and then like the ladies, they love what you did because you're so creative and blah, 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 and whatever. You know, it's like that. But this was a dance class with dancers that dance for a living. Doja, Beyonce, whoever. Like, these are the people. That's who I was in the room with. And they just happened to be there because they had time, or they're training for something else. Ballerinas, who and whatever. Regular people even. People from other countries coming through to learn something in a different language. This girl said she asked the instructor to help her out a little bit more because it's her first time taking a dance class in English. I don't know how much that was different for her, but it was something that she felt like she needed to speak up about. For me, I would have had to slow the whole class down, and that wouldn't have worked because they started teaching things differently from how they used to teach it when I was in not elementary school. I didn't have dance class in elementary school, but I sure did the dances. Anyway, but basically, like, I made sure to have a good time. I chose that. I chose this. And so when I say that it is super important for you to pay attention to what I'm saying to you, I want that to be the most important thing that you take from this, because anybody can pick up a phone and, you know, film something. And I also hate it because I be watching stuff on YouTube and really you just don't know what is real or not anymore, because I read things by energy and everything is real. Everything. I've shared this with you. Every reality is real. And that is why I said specifically, make sure you tend to yours. It's exactly the way that you want it. And if it doesn't fit because you can't face your shadow side, you know, it's going to get corrected, and you will be put in your correct spot, and forcefully, if that. However, that's not the way it used to be. Usually you would die early. I've been wanting to talk more about that too, but it's a lot of influential people. But I always have to remember who I am and talking about these influential people. And so, it's very important because people be talking about these people that I be talking about. And I'm like, bro, I just said that. Or they do the next step in their lives. And I'm like, yep, called it immediately. I knew it, you know? I don't, and I'm also very selective about how I talk about that too, because I did say that a lot of those people are going to be close to me in general, and spiritually, we are close. I don't know how the vessel is doing. I'll be honest with you. It scares me. It scares me because, people aren't honest with, if it's not easy to be honest, I understand that people are not, and it's more convenient to lie. But is it? If you really think about it, because if you were living your life the way that you wanted to live your life, then you would naturally end up in the spaces with other people that are also living their life in the same way, right? So if other people were living their lives the way that they were supposed to be living their lives internally as well, they would be also around me at the moment. But since they are not currently doing so as much as I am in certain ways that I am, even if they are doing it in their own way in certain ways, everybody's path is different. You will hear me say it in these ways, especially because I don't want that to be misunderstood ever. There are certain vibrations that will always be higher than others or different than others, and also higher and different at the same time. Everybody's doing certain things. That's why paths change. So if you were being who you are supposed to be instead of the persona that you created, which if you really think about it, the persona that you created, like, why is it so basic? Why is that it? That's it. That's it. But you want to be different. You want to be unique. Where? So the pain of letting people go because they don't vibe with you anymore is not nearly as painful as being with people that don't know anything about you. And, I know for a fact because it happens to me and I live my life right? So I'll be in public, I'll be anywhere I'm at, whatever time of the day it is going to be. If I'm not feeling well, there's nobody to help me. It's just me. But if I had other people around me that I didn't like, that they're nothing like me because I'm lying to myself in that way. And I wouldn't say nothing like me because I'm lying to myself, because you know what I mean. Let's be real. That's what vibrational circles are. Y'all all lying together. We're all together. No, I'm not gonna sing that. Not like that. I put my own lyric or took some out. But basically, like, I wouldn't want my energy to be affected by having to be fake because I can barely do what I'm going to do in order to exist when I am feeling a certain way on a normal day. So, you know, I'd like to put that effort into expressing myself as authentically as possible, because that is the best choice of action for me, as I also escort myself safely to somewhere that makes me feel at peace, where I can probably hibernate and die at the same time. Because I know for a fact that certain people aren't for me. I know that I shouldn't ask for help from certain people. I know that I shouldn't let certain people see me in a certain way, which is also why a lot of the time God will now expose these things to people, because I go through a lot of things by myself. And so I need people around me that are going to take care of me, because I spend my life taking care of others. I'm still taking care of others by solely taking care of myself. I've also been giving out a lot of good energy, like especially lately. And I always end up doing that when I'm at my lowest in a certain area in my life. Like, I ran out of deodorant about a week ago. It was slowly running out. I ran out about a week ago. I actually said something about it. And so I was just using the remnants of the roller. I was doing my best, right? And I love smelling good in general. I love being pampered. I'm bougie. But at the same time, I just always have high priority of hygiene. Have and always will. It's something that's been very important to how I've grown up, because it wasn't always a big deal to me when I was younger. I just knew I didn't want to smell bad, you know, you, you know. So in this case, the sun started coming out a lot more. I actually don't. Okay, the thing is, this was a very spiritual moment. I already told y'all I was having a heck of spiritual issues with my throat and all that stuff, and I had to. I've been going through a lot, evolution wise, and so when it was for this specifically, I think it's funny how I really said this was a short. This started from 30 seconds. What the heck? But I specifically was nursing myself like I was a baby within myself, taking care of myself and doing my best without like throughout my day. I don't overexert myself unnecessarily whatsoever. But if I had to maybe push myself a little bit harder, because evolution means you push yourself to a certain part and you were also pushing yourself out of it as well. You're growing, you're continuously growing as well. And so I made sure to always keep everything that I keep in mind. And it's a lot of things, but I wanted to narrow it down because not a lot of people think these things, but a lot of the things that you do think, wouldn't you be surprised that you think all of those things all at the same time? So if you just paid attention to them, because I know you hear them, it would be easier to organize them or to acknowledge them and let them observe. You can let other thoughts observe other thoughts. You can observe your thoughts. It's best for you to observe your thoughts, but parallel thinking is a tool. But and that you can be as parallel thinking as much as you can parallel think. Be careful with that, because you are creating realities, and you should nurture them all, and you should be responsible for them all. And that does mean different things. I don't want to explain that too much. Explore that one for yourself. Clean it up. Just clean it up, you know? But, yeah, so I was sweating. My body was overheating, and like it was happening often, or anytime I was actually walking anywhere. And I'm drinking water too, but the thing also was, when my throat was hurting, I was drinking absolutely nothing but water, and it hurt after a while. And then I got on my period too. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. This month has been a whole thing, but I did that. And you didn't hear too much about it until you heard a lot about it just now. And the whole time, I'm also working on my body, because there are certain parts of my body that I'm also having to rely on more because I'm working extra hard. My body stamina was just not even, like, I struggle with stamina, but it's something that I've built as well. But when I'm going through these evolution things, I'm like, I'm building it again, because good God. And like, it really is good God. I've said it before, like sometimes I'd be floating, like a vehicle floating type inside my body, because of the fact that I have to have everything working order and stuff, breathing, whatever. Like, it's something that I pay attention to, and how I move my body. That's just how I connect with my body. I'm always healing something. I'm always moving something around. Can you be quiet, please? Arigato. I'm always taking care of myself to make sure that the people that I left behind don't end up killing themselves because they know what they did. I know that if I died, things would just go to shit immediately. Not only because I am who I am, and by the way, there's a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. But the best part about it is that there's a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, but it is so bright and light because I am who I am. And I am a good God. And I'm very happy with who I am and how I've become who I've always been. I was going to say who I are. There's a lot of different words that we use here. So, and I don't mean in Long Beach. We use here within us and in general with spirit. That's why I'm so in particular about language, but so particular about it. But yeah, if you really want to change something in your life, let alone, anybody else's life, you really need to stop acting like this is just a YouTube video. Hmm. Johnny.